Hi there, this is James from TesseracT and you're watching SoundlinkTV.
What is up, everybody? Trent here with SoundlinkTV with James from TesseracT. How you doing, man?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So how are you handling this whole good old southern United States rainy weather right now?
Yeah, well, yesterday we were in Florida and it was really sunny and it was like the sun was out, t-shirt weather. It was like summer in the UK, so yeah, I don't know. It's not been too bad. Like today it's a bit grim, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know you guys have probably been coming to America for a long time. You guys have been in a band for a long time and stuff. So do you still sort of get culture shocked being in places like the southern United States a lot with some of the stuff that we have here that you may not have back at home?
I don't think we get culture shocked. I guess when you tour the world a lot, you're used to everywhere being different and there to be different, different cultures, different foods, different attitudes, different things people are offended about and not offended about. I know. It's always nice. I mean, I love going to different places, and the south of America is always quite fascinating. I love the food. Eat a lot of food down here.
Yeah. So do you still have you gotten used to going to a Walmart or whatever and seeing some guns sitting in there that you can get some milk, bread, some eggs, and take home a gun with you as well? Yeah,
that stuff. I mean, if I'm entirely honest with you, that still freaks us all out. Really? I think, but it is what it is. You guys love your guns. Just please don't shoot me, please.
You're out here on tour with Between the Buried and Me and some other bands and all that. Obviously, those guys are basically, I guess, prog metal, whatever you want to call them, legends right now at this point and stuff. And so you guys have your own big base and stuff. You guys have been a band for a long time, have your following. So what's it like bringing all your fans out here for these shows and everything on this tour?
I think it's been really cool. I mean, this is actually the third time we've toured with BT Bam now, so we've known those guys for a long time, and I think there's definitely a reasonable amount of fan crossover, but we're definitely picking up new fans every night. I think people that have never heard us before, and we're meeting lots of people who've never heard us. So I mean, that's the main. Apart from the fact it's really good fun and we get on with them really well. And the main purposes of this is so we can all try and pick up fans from each other's existing fan bases. And I think that's happening.
Yeah, and you guys are one of those I guess rare bands in a way, because there's a lot of bands who play the style of music, but a lot of them are very heavy, but very few are sort of very melodic with a lot of the singing over the screaming while keeping that heavy edge to it and stuff. And so being on heavier tours, with bands like that and everything, what is that experience like? I guess it's kind of weird not saying you're a heavy band, because you are, but at the same time though, you're not y'all aren't screaming in the microphone all night.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in general, music bills work when there's a bit of variation and things are a bit different. For me personally, if you go to watch 5 bands and they all sound exactly the same, it's pretty boring. So I'd like to think that maybe we can offer, if we're on a heavier bill, we're maybe just doing something slightly different, like tapping into other things that people might like or be into, and while still being heavy. I don't know. I think it's quite funny. We're doing a lot of heavy festivals this summer, and we're playing just before Mayhem and then Slayer, and it's just I don't know, we're kind of maybe the breather where people can relax in the middle. But
you think people are going to be screaming, yeah, fucking Slayer during your set or whatever, waiting for them to come on or something?
To be fair, on this tour, people shout fucking Slayer, even when we're setting up. I think that's happened 3 times already. Oh, God. I think Slayer fans like to shout Slayer a lot, which is fine. I love Slayer.
Yeah, you guys dropped a brand new album last year and everything, and it showcases your progression as a band, like every release should and stuff. But being I guess you want to say a technical band in a way, how do you continue to push yourselves creatively, trying new things that you probably haven't tried before, or are you guys comfortable with where you're at, not really trying to push the envelope with your music and just still doing what you do?
I think we're always trying to do something different, and I think that's what's important for the band to evolve, but also for our own interest as well. I think everything that we do, we want to be interesting to us, and for it to be interesting to us, it has to be fresh and different. Not necessarily pushing ourselves more technically, although in some ways, I guess there's some subtle dynamics that we use now, which maybe we haven't done before. So it's not like playing faster, but maybe just playing things, slightly more experimentally or differently. I guess one conscious effort we've made is to just try and focus more on songwriting and write songs rather than just crazy, pieces of music. I think there's always space for crazy pieces of music, but ultimately I think we all like good songs and we want to try and be better songwriters, and I think that's the one conscious decision we're making. Everything else just sounds different because we're experimenting, I suppose.
So with I guess with what you're saying about experimenting from record to record, trying new things and everything, a lot of bands may be like, "Oh, this is the best thing we've ever done," and they may really feel that way about their newest stuff. But with experimenting, trying to be different on every record, is there a record on the back end that may be your favorite versus the newest thing, or like, do you guys have a favorite record that you've done?
I don't think so. No, I think they all kind of mark different points in the band's development. I think, like the first album, one is. I mean, the band started off as a solo project about 7 years before the album even came out, so it's kind of like the best bits of the entire 7 years of the project. Whereas Altered State was that difficult second album where I got to do something really quickly. Once we had a slight lineup change, we had a different vocalist, and I know it's very much of that time. Whereas, I think Polaris was an extension of that a little bit when Dan came back. Well, I think Sonder, it feels to me like the most recent one, like the most rounded and kind of good mark of where we are now as a band and how we're getting on and how where we are creatively. And I suppose if I was going to pick a favourite, I'd pick Sonder because it's the newest. But then I guess if you ask me this question 2 years time with another record, I'd probably pick that one. So.
I mean, do you feel like that's how it should be? Do you feel like your latest record should be your best, or do you think bands could rein back and maybe not push the envelope as much and just make a more chill record, whereas the previous record may be their favorite in turn? Is that still possible these days, or do you think that to be relevant as a band, 2019 with the internet, streaming and all that, you have to continue, like, each record has to be your absolute best that you've ever done?
I don't know. I guess I don't think there's any real exact answer to that. I think for us, the next record has to be the one that we think is the best thing we've done. Otherwise, if it's substandard, we won't want to put it out. But then I guess some other bands, I guess they find their formula, they know it works, and they enjoy that formula, then they probably don't need to evolve. I don't know. I think it's different with every band.
Now, after this tour and everything, going into the summer, you mentioned the festivals and everything. Are there any other tours or anything you can talk about after this, leading into the summertime and all that?
Well, after this, our focus is European festivals, so we're doing loads across Europe. I think we might. Where about here? I don't think we're doing anything. Are we doing anything outside Europe? I can't remember. I don't think so. It's going to be very European focused for the summer. And I can't give away any details yet, but there's a chance we might be coming back to the States at the end of the year. But watch this space. It's not completely confirmed, so I can't say anything. But it's likely we'll be coming back.
Would it be your name at the top of the flyer in that case?
Don't know in this case.
All right, man. We like to close it out with a few fun questions and stuff before we do this and everything. And being, that you guys are, like a proggy band and stuff, this would be a fun one. Are you familiar with the Punk Goes pop series or whatever? All right, so basically, for the longest time, there's a series of records where, like, a lot of the metalcore bands, pop punk bands would pick a current pop song or rap song and do their version of it. Okay. So if that came out and it was a Disney version and you guys had to cover a Disney song, what song would that be?
We'd have to cover a Disney song, possibly the theme to The Lion King, because it's big and epic, and it's very emotive, and I think some of it's quite, from what I remember, does it develop into quite a rhythmic bit which we could evolve, but let's stick with The Lion King.
Okay, awesome. Well, man, thanks for your time today and everything, and good luck on the rest of the tour.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
I'm Trenton with TesseracT. Thanks for watching SoundlinkTV.